At a panel on health care reform, the First Lady announced that her comprehensive package would cover people with the willies, but not those suffering from the heebie-jeebies.
Al Franken at the White House Correspondents' Dinner 20 years ago. He's traded in comedy for politics now, going back home to win a Minnesota Senate seat by just 312 votes. And now he is trying to hold his job in a tough year for Democrats. ABC's Jeff Zeleny joined him on the trail for a This Week exclusive.
He may have the most famous laugh in politics. But these days, Al Franken is delivering a different kind of punchline.
This may be over-representative of people who think about propane.
We caught up with Franken in rural Minnesota. He's starting to run for re-election after spending his first term honing his serious side.
So you're not afraid to use humor, but it seems like you've been selective in using it.
When I go to the floor and I'm with a colleague, will I crack wise, as they say? Sure. You know, and in a hearing, sure. That's who I am.
A top Republican in Minnesota told me that you've done a remarkable job making yourself into a serious person.
I was always a serious person. People who are funny are very often very serious people, and vice versa.
He became famous bringing Stuart Smalley and other Saturday Night Live characters into America's living rooms.
I'm good enough, I'm smart enough, and doggone it, people like me.
But Franken has traded a television audience of millions to sit through meetings,
pipeline disruptions,
and tour factories in hopes of sealing a bond with voters.
I do.
Congratulations, Senator.
The far less glamorous life of a first-term senator.
6 years ago, you won election to the United States Senate by 312 votes, the smallest margin of any senator. How did that affect your first term?
I think it did affect the term. You know, I think I felt that I wanted to prove to all Minnesotans that I was going to work for them.
Is it still the Al Franken decade? Yes, it is.
What would comedian Al Franken say about Senator Al Franken's first term?
He would say, I did well, because I'm the same person. There aren't two different people.
Wouldn't he have some fun with you, though, at some point?
When I would make fun of a politician, it was only because they were screwing up in some way, and I don't think I could find anything, frankly.
Nothing.
Whew, that'd be a really hard subject to satirize, because I've just been impeccable.
Impeccable.
Yeah, I've made some small mistakes, I suppose.
But as Republican senators tell me, not as many mistakes as they hoped. Several GOP candidates are running, but even in a tough Democratic year, for now, Franken holds a double-digit lead.
How difficult is it right now to run as a Democrat in the 6th year of President Obama's term?
I'm very comfortable doing that.
President Obama is saying that Democrats should not apologize for the health care law.
I think that the rollout was pretty disastrous. I don't think there's any question about that. I also think there are parts of the law that need to be fixed.
I mean, as President Obama said, don't be afraid of it.
There's a little bit of a catch-22 there. If you think it's a bad issue in your state, so you're not going to go defend it because you think, you know, you'd rather talk about something else.
Franken's become a fierce critic of big corporate mergers and the loudest opponent to Comcast's bid to take over Time Warner Cable, arguing it's a no-win for consumers.
And you could charge more.
But he also brings a flavor of fun to the Capitol.
Senator, why the hot dish competition?
Well, hot dish is a big thing in Minnesota. Yeah. So I thought it was a good way to get our delegation together in a fun, friendly way.
It's another chance to remind people of his roots. Kevin Papp, president of the Minnesota Farm Bureau, says voters have noticed. 6 years ago, members of his group endorsed Franken's opponent.
Senator Franken was on my farm 2 years ago and combined 5 acres for me.
How was he?
He was great.
I did corn harvesting. You go in the straight line, so it's pretty easy.
It's all part of Franken's life on this side of politics.
You know, I really enjoyed my other career. This is a great job. It's a great job. But it's also great to make people laugh.
If he wins in November, he'll get the last laugh. His transition from comedian to senator fully complete. For This Week, Jeff Zeleny, ABC News, Good Thunder, Minnesota.